Today, you got a couple of topics to get yourself going. Let's see where you go here. Rich in Florida, and he says hello. Rich, good afternoon. How are you? Okay? What's on your mind?
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
All right, Richard. Thank you. What's happening now?
I'm going to kill Belichick.
All right, go ahead.
You give him the props saying that he's Bill Belichick, but, man, that guy's got the biggest ego the size of Texas. This is the Super Bowl. It's all hands on deck. Yes, that player screwed up. No doubt, probably. And I know that Bill Belichick is set in his ways, but he could have very well just sat him either for the first couple of plays or for the first quarter and then played him. Alshon Jeffrey was walking all over that secondary right there, and that guy, he is a good defensive back, and he could have gotten...
Well, let me ask you this way. At 33-32, when they completed the board of Zach to Ernst, and that had nothing to do with Butler, if he gets that stop there, they win the game, and you would not be calling about Malcom Butler today. You'd be calling saying, wow, what a job by Belichick. He got his point across and still won, and he benched Butler because Butler didn't act right all week. So you would go the other way if they made one play in the game.
No, I'm right down the middle because I have no horse in this race. By him doing that, he also, I mean, there are reports that he split the locker room on that. They're wondering, why the heck isn't he playing? We could use him out there. So he very well could have. And there were other things, other plays that could have been worked out that they should have made, but they weren't tackling. And that guy is known to be a tackler. He should have used them, even if he sat him out for a quarter just to teach him a lesson.
Well, I mean, listen, I think it was a disciplinary thing. Good call from Rich to get us going. I don't think it was a strategy scenario because it's hard to argue strategy when you've given up 41 points. So I don't know. I mean, and obviously Butler must have been told before the game that he's not playing because he was crying there at the national anthem. So he must have been told you're out today for whatever the reason. Now, they activated him. I mean, I guess they could have deactivated him, activated somebody else. They didn't, and they only had 3 receivers at the end of the game because Cooks was out. So all they had was Amendola. They had Amendola and Hogan, and I forget the third, but they only had 3 wide receivers, and Dorsett. They only had the 3 receivers, so they could have gotten another receiver in there. They could have done a variety of things, but again, you have to trust Belichick on this, that he knows what he's doing. Belichick is not one. Remember, he was a giant defensive coordinator with LT. He knows all the issues LT caused. This is not a guy, who he's had a lot of success in this area in the past. Lawyer Malloy, perfect case in point. I have trouble. He's never played favorites. I have trouble believing that he did this just to prove a point. There had to be something here that he thought was just very significant that needed to, be done. Now, maybe it was a combination of a couple things. He had a lousy week of practice, was sick, and then he did something stupid with curfew. So maybe it was a variety of things. Didn't prepare well for the week, was not 100% physically, and then the booty's out there Saturday night drinking and gets home at 2 o'clock in the morning. So maybe that was it. But I have to trust the head coach on this. I really do. Here's Xavier in Tampa, Florida, says hello. Xavier, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have?
Dog, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, Xavier. Nice to talk to you. What's on your mind now?
Hey, brother. So I got 3 real quick points. So one is, I am very disgusted by listening to the national media. Instead of giving my Eagles credit, all the credit in the world for winning that Super Bowl, we're sitting up here talking about Malcom Butler not playing. You know what? It's not our fault. They should be talking about how come Tom Brady lost that fumble. And the other last point I want to make is, and I'll get off and listen to you, is how come we're not talking about Tom Brady not shaking Nick Foles' hand and walking off the field? If that would have been Cam Newton, it would have been all over the news. I'll get off and listen to you, doggy.
Again, Newton, now he handled himself poorly at the post-game press conference 2 years ago. Brady did not this year. So Cam got more abuse for the way he handled himself following losing to the Broncos. He just was just a disaster, awful. And, Brady was not on Sunday there with him losing the game. Foles did say he was looking for Brady, couldn't find him. You're right. Brady, if he won, would have made sure he found his counterpart in that scenario. He did not congratulate Foles. I have trouble believing that Brady did that on purpose, myself. I really have trouble believing that. Now, you want to sit there and you want to talk about why people are talking about the Patriots instead of the Eagles? Well, it's the same old thing. The losing team is far more interesting to dissect than the winning team. In any sport, you always spend more time. Did we spend more time talking about Yu Darvish, or did we spend more time talking about, George Springer when Houston lost 1 Game 7 against L.A. in baseball? Do we spend more time talking about the Golden State or LeBron and what his future is with Cleveland? I mean, we usually spend more time in these spots on the losing team or individual than we do on the winning team. Got to keep that in mind. Scott is in Ottawa, Canada. Mad Dog Unleashed. Scotty, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Fine, Scott. Thank you. What's on your mind now? Let me hear.
Yeah, I'm with you on the whole Belichick Butler thing, dog. The guy clearly broke a team rule. You don't think anyone else on the Pats wanted to be out Super Bowl week breaking team rules? Of course they did, but they're in their hotel because the team's more important than themselves.
Well, we don't know what the team rule was. We are assuming they did something that we don't like, but we don't know exactly what that was. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, you break a rule, you watch from the sideline. You don't win 5 rings without everyone pulling in the same direction, and I've got no issues with him doing that.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned the right to do what he wants. I'll say that. You could make the argument, you could make the point without benching him the whole game, but I'll go with what you said. He has earned the right, Belichick, to do exactly what he wants with his football team. Exactly.
I think we should give Brady a break about shaking Foles' hands, too, because the game was decided on a Hail Mary final play. I don't think it was in victory formation where he would have made a point to meet him at midfield and greet him. I think it was a bit of chaos after the game, and that's probably the reason why they didn't cross paths.
I would think. I mean, he did cross paths with Manning twice. I have trouble believing that Brady was out there and he avoided Foles on purpose. Brady does not deserve that. So let's assume that Brady has never been a sore loser. I've never known him to be out there being a pain in the neck. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt as far as that is concerned. Buster in New Orleans, he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Buster, good afternoon. How are you today?
All right, man. Let me say one thing here, Doggy.
Yeah.
Is I totally agree with you on the disciplinary deal with Mr. Butler. I mean, you just can't allow these players to do what they want. They're influencing the locker room, and if something like that happened, everybody going to want to do what Mr. Butler did. But one more point, Doggy. I really think that young man, Mr. Butler, had an incident with the coach in previous years. So this is not the first time he done ran into Belichick's hand in disciplinary issues. So this is just a combination of some other things over the years.
Might be.
That just continually try to push the envelope against his coach, and his coach kind of let him know, son, I'm the man. You're the employee. So he made a point, and I really don't think he would have made a difference in the game, Doggy, because there was 2 players in the game that was the game. When Malcolm Jenkins knocked out Cooks, that was key, and when the man sacked for the fumble, that was the key in the game.
No, that
England was right there.
Yeah, and that in 3rd and 3 with Ernst's catch for the first down. I know. I mean, normally that would not be his responsibility on that play. I wouldn't think. But listen, there's a lot of plays that could have gone the other way. We can't argue with the fact that the defense stunk. That we can't argue with. That the defense of New England could have used a boost. That we know. But again, it is Belichick. He's earned the right. Past Dan Lang, Sports Bite, Mad Dog Unleashed.